long and prosperous.
I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Shut up and take my money.
By Grabthar's hammer. What a saving.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
X never, ever marks the spot.
Winter is coming. You're a wizard, Harry. Stay a while and listen.
Hey, old Kermit the Frog here.
Bow ties are cool.
So say we all.
This is a Play on Nerds.
Welcome to episode 246 of A Play on Nerds. I'm one of your glorious co-hosts, Jarman.
And I'm your dour co-host, Steve.
Not quite the opposite of glorious, I would say, but, you know.
I don't know. What, inglorious?
Yeah, like Inglorious Bastards.
I don't know, but I like that word. I don't like that movie, though. I think that movie's trash.
Oh, unpopular opinion, but fine. I'll take it.
Hey, a lot of times the correct voices in history are the least popular.
The road less traveled.
Look, I'm just saying, if I went to a movie called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and they were only in 17 minutes of the film, I would be pissed.
That makes sense.
The way they advertised that film, you thought it was going to be a war, shoot 'em up with this badass gang of guys doing all sorts of stuff, and they had like 3 major scenes. It was some horse shit.
Mostly just like a lot of Tarantino monologuing crap.
And Christoph Waltz smiling while he says really evil things.
Oh, but I love those scenes.
The rest of the movie. What a trash bag. But
anyways,
that's what we're here to talk about. What are we here to talk about?
That's right. In honor of the release of The Mandalorian and Grogu, we're going to talk about another film that has 2 partners on the run, solving a mystery while one tries to save another, searching for justice. One, a rugged lawman. The other one's not a Yoda-like being, but is Joe Piscopo. And of course, we're talking about 1988's, I think 87 actually, 1987's Dead Heat.
I'm pretty sure it's 88, but that's okay.
Really? Either way.
87 to 88's Dead Heat.
You're correct. It's 1988. I was wrong.
Because there's another one from 92, and I had to make sure I didn't watch that.
And folks, you can find this one for free with ads
on Amazon
and on Plex and a few other places.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
believe it or not, they're giving it away.
You have no excuse not to watch it in preparation for this episode. I'm just saying.
Except for to preserve your sanity. There's no excuse.
But Steve, what have you been up to since the last time we chatted?
Well, I started my temporary assignment at work, so I'm doing something new and different, which is nice. My days are going faster, and I am currently sourcing talent, so looking through entries and resumes and submissions for hundreds of people to support 23 stores
throughout the nation
in my market.
Oh, in your market.
So like Northeast, predominantly a few random one-offs.
Gotcha.
So the nice thing is expanding, getting to do something I don't normally get to do, which always, once again, makes the days go faster and keeps my brain working.
That's always nice.
And then, of course, we had Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Where I made Anna pretend to be asleep until 9 so I could get up with the kids and we could make breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
So I made biscuits and gravy for Anna, which is one of her favorites and something we literally only have like once or maybe twice a year, one of them being Mother's Day. And then we took the kids and we went for just a beautiful riverfront walk.
Oh.
And checked out a lovely little community called Aspinwall and got some nice coffee and just had a nice kind of gentle morning.
That sounds so lovely. Nothing went wrong.
And then we went over to my folks' place for dinner and celebrated my mom with gifts and dinner. And it was nice. Pretty low key.
That's awesome. It's just so great. Nothing went wrong or no blowouts or tantrums or anything like that along the way.
Oh, the kids always hate. Like, we get 10 feet into the walk, and Dilly's like, my legs hurt. I go, we've been walking for 10 feet, Dilly.
Your legs are so young. You don't have any trouble.
Your legs don't hurt when we're at Kennywood walking around. But we're on a riverfront walk, suddenly your legs hurt. I think he said, I got bad knees this week. Yes, Anna's nodding. That is what he said. I got bad knees.
I got bad knees.
You are 5 going on 50.
Are you raising Benjamin Button over here?
I am. We keep him in a drawer at night.
I do remember, though, being a child.
Things I remember from that movie.
Yeah, Being a child, though, my parents, the second they took me to Home Depot, my whole body was falling apart and I wanted to die.
Yeah. My eyes are itchy. Were those hot dogs out front?
Yeah, that's the only thing that kept me going was the hot dogs. I'm like, okay, there might be some hot dogs involved. I'm going to be okay.
Costco's entire business model is arranged around that concept.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's hot dogs at the end.
That's what they say. It's a profit loss. They sell the rotisserie chickens and the hot dogs at a loss because they gets people in the door and they buy other stuff. So that's how that works. But anyways.
Then they move stuff around on purpose. So every time you go, stuff's in a different place and you have to spend more time wandering aisles you don't need to be in.
That makes sense too.
That's
Tricky
right.
bastards.
They're evil geniuses. Now I want a hot dog.
I was just at Costco today. So, I mean, that's...
Anna went to Costco today.
You what?
I said Anna went to Costco today.
Oh my gosh, it's the Costco day.
She picked me up more of my protein seltzer that I absolutely love. Or I guess it's protein pop.
That's right. I think it was a recommendation you made before on the podcast.
Oh man, it's so good. Keeps you going.
See, today I had to buy we bought our first diapers since our baby's been born 4 months ago.
Ah, shit.
Because,
so yeah, you're out of the small sizes then, yeah?
Well, we had a bunch from our baby shower, and they gave us so many different sizes, but they gave us a lot of the newborn and a lot of size 1.
Yeah.
And so we hadn't run out of size 1 yet. But he's a small baby. He's petite. He's on the 1% side of the scale, like literally the tiniest he can be.
One of our two was that Joyce was the 1%.
Yeah.
I get it.
They're calling him petite at the doctor's office. So we were getting, he's still in the 1 diapers. So we finally ran out of 1 diapers. We thought we'd be in 2 by now. So we have a bunch of 2s waiting for him for free that we got from the baby shower. But so we went and got Costco boxes of diapers and we're ready to go. So
nice.
We're excited. But yeah, also Mother's Day. We had a nice Mother's Day where Adric got to see his grandma, my mom. We went to see her for a little bit, had some dinner.
And Jolie's first Mother's Day.
That's right. When Jolie got a massage for her first Mother's Day.
Ooh,
so
happy Mother's Day.
I went with Adric to my mom's place and dropped her off to get a massage while we hung out with my mom. And so she got a nice little relaxation day for herself. Yeah. That's that. Other than that, the 4-month appointment for the baby, got all his shots. We're pumping him full of those vaccines. Let's do it.
And then now you probably have a couple that are like, now you got to wait 2 months and do the round 2 and that kind of shit.
I think so. This was round 2 for a couple of them, because we got a bunch of 2 months, and then now this one at 4 months, and they're keeping track of it at the doctor's office. As long as they give them everything
they're going to give you a piece of paper that if you lose it, it's going to ruin the kid's life. So just don't lose that piece of paper.
Oh, the one we gave to the daycare?
Kids still have paper shot records. Like somehow it has not become a different thing. So
I was told we have a state record of it in the computers.
Maybe Florida, but I can't imagine. Florida doesn't have a lot of nice things.
We're backwards on everything.
Yeah. Well, ours started in California, which is like the most progressive technological state, and we had a yellow piece of paper with dates and times on it.
We don't have that. They didn't give us anything like that.
Well, you might want to look into that.
Maybe. Or maybe they just have a record of who's getting shots in Florida so that they can take us out later when they're getting rid of people who have been vaccinated. Because
yeah, true. Well, they're just going to put you on a little island, push you out.
We're at least on a list somewhere. I think that's what we are.
Well, I'm on a list somewhere because I read actual books. So, that's not a hard list to get to.
He's learning too much. Be careful.
That's right. Next thing you know, witchcraft.
Oh, that's what's come and gone already.
That's how Salem happened.
But anyways, that brings us to
that joke.
Some nerdy news.
It's time for Nerdy News.
All right, this week on Nerdy News, the cheeky name for my cheeky story is Rip Van Winkle that shit.
Whoa.
Well, scientists looked at 23 biological markers based on the aging of various organs and biological systems in the human body. So they used brain imaging and blood tests and metabolic panels and all sorts of tests to look at bunches of different organs and the pituitary glands and different systems inside your body. And while we've all heard that too little sleep isn't good for you, it turns out that too much is also not good for you. Scientists found that the sweet spot is about 6.4 to 7.8 hours a night. But both less and more than that result in accelerated aging of heart, lungs, immune system, higher rates of depression and diabetes. And now scientists think that since sleep duration is actually one of the most controllable things, it could be an easy path to better aging for everybody. Doesn't take special initiative other than going to bed a little bit earlier for most people.
If possible.
But it also proves that your kids keeping you up at night is literally killing you.
Yes.
So everyone, make sure to get your 6.4 to 7.8 hours and Rip Van Winkle that shit.
So you're telling me the 3 hours of sleep I get a night is not enough? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm telling you is that the 6.5 I get every night is enough, like I've been telling people for years.
I just been telling people for years, doesn't matter when I sleep. Like, leave me alone. I work for myself. If I want to sleep in till 11, but I'm working the same amount of hours as you, screw you. I'm not working less than you just because I don't get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. But I don't do that anymore because I have a child, so I get up at 6 a.m. every day. But
my big thing is I can't nap. I'm a terrible napper. I can't go to sleep for 40 minutes and wake up feeling refreshed. If I go to sleep for 40 minutes, I wake up more tired than when I went to the nap. If I'm going to nap, it has to be 2.5 to 3 hours.
Well, apparently, like, they say that a half an hour nap is like the ideal thing because if you can do that and make it work, you'll be the most refreshed. But other than that, they said like an hour and a half is the next step up. And then after many more than that, then you're screwing up your whole sleep cycle.
Right, that's the thing. Because then once I've slept 3 hours, then I'm not sleeping that night.
No.
It's all over.
It's all over.
So yeah, that's Rip Van Winkle that shit.
Hell yeah. Well, those who don't sleep are called zombies.
Is that what they're called?
Because we're talking about a zombie
word
movie.
in this movie?
What?
Did they use the zombie word in this film?
At the very end, they did, yeah. He made a joke about zombies.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, of course, we're talking about 1987 to 88's Dead Heat. They shot it in 87, so we're going to say.
Sure.
It's a dead heat. Get a race against time. You don't want to catch.
Well, the movie opens up with some armed robbers putting on basically like leather daddy masks and robbing a jewelry store. They get riddled with bullets, but somehow they are fine. But Detective Roger Mortis, the fact that his name was a joke on Rigor Mortis was so painful from the very beginning. And his wisecracking partner, Doug Bigelow, show up to investigate. Roger's more serious. Doug is loud, but they're both kind of the funny guy, I guess.
That was weird.
They're goofy partners, and they realize that the criminals shouldn't be alive based off what they've heard, and they head to the morgue to investigate. Turns out more of these guys are showing up, and the hot autopsy doctor, I don't remember her name, who died very unceremoniously later, reveals that all the bodies are the same. They shouldn't have been able to get up and move, and they all have a similar chemical in them. Oh, but where does the chemical come from? A place called Dante Pharmaceuticals. So Roger and Doug head over to investigate. We there meet Randy, the head of their PR department, whose father recently died under somewhat mysterious circumstances. Well, while they're investigating and poking around, they find a room with a strange machine, a big platform in the middle. And then there they find a terrible and disfigured dead guy who suddenly comes to life. He attacks them both, and during the struggle, Roger is pushed into a decompression chamber.
That they use to kill animals that they test on?
Because that's a thing, and he dies. The hot mortician lady shows up, and her and Doug go to the machine, figure out it raises the dead. A computer screen tells them the exposition of part of the movie, and then they put Roger on the platform, activate the machine, and Roger comes back to life. So Roger is up, dead, but technically walking around. They go to the hot mortician lady who's like, "You're decomposing. You're going to turn into a puddle of goo in 12 hours," because this is a totally normal scientific thing to know without any other examination, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with limited time, the detectives go to catch up with Randy, who reveals that her father died under mysterious circumstances and that they should go investigate this. I think lawyer was what he said. Detectives head to the address, but it turns out it's a Chinese butcher shop where, and this was an amazing revolution, Key Luke, The old guy from Gremlins is there.
That's who
I
that
was
was,
so friggin' excited. Well, they're on to him, and the struggle ensues. He runs to the back, and there's one of those crazy machines identical to the one from before. He turns it on, and suddenly dead corpses of ducks, chickens, a full pig, and an entire side of beef reanimate and attack Doug and Roger. It's a really insane scene that only stops when Roger shoots a gun at the machine. But Key Luke got away with his henchmen. Roger starts experiencing like the physical decay. His skin is becoming muddled. He gets more and more pale looking, and Doug becomes sort of increasingly horrified. And Roger has a couple of moments where he kind of, his mind goes wild. I don't know how to say it other than that. He has like zombie moments, I guess would be the right way to put it.
Yeah, he sees things occasionally.
They investigate further. It reveals this vast conspiracy with rich people and some gangsters and a mad scientist and possibly a body. Someone's providing the body. Could it be the mortician played by an actor we know earlier? Who knows? Who knows who it could be? But basically they figured out the temporary immortality is being offered and then weaponized to do people's bidding. They go to investigate Brandy's father's grave and find a clue etched on the inside of a lampshade because for some reason there's like a full desk set up in his mortuary. It was real weird. And on the inside of a lamp in a mortuary. Someone just wrote this down, I guess. They head back to her apartment, and that is where they find Doug dead, hung upside down in the fish tank. It was literally not until my second review where I went, what happened to Doug? How did Joe Piscopo die? Because I in no way visually had no idea that was Doug Piscopo.
It was so jarring.
Piscopo. It was so jarring, and it didn't look like him, and it was so strange in how they did it. So I didn't know. I didn't catch the name.
Well, when she points to the dead
like,
body,
wow,
she's
that
like,
random guy.
She's like, it's Doug. I'm like, who's Doug? I didn't remember his name was Doug.
Right, and it didn't look like Joe Piscopo. So he's dead, hung upside down in a fish tank. That was also crazy. There's like 4 fish tanks.
There's a lot of fish tanks. Yeah, there was.
That's when she reveals that she is also a living dead and her time is up, and she melts spectacularly.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about it later. It is incredible. Roger realizes that the clue on the inside of the lampshade spells something on the telephone, which points him back to the evil mortician from the beginning who has been providing bodies. Roger is caught, though, as he confronts him and locked in an ambulance by some undead goons as decomposition looms. The hot, lady doctor mortician is there, but she's dead and he's outraged. So with nothing to lose, he kicks the car into gear with his foot and the ambulance rolls downhill, hits another car. They both roll into an intersection. Multiple people are definitely killed in this situation. And Roger comes out now half burnt, but he's got nothing to lose. He's like a madman corpse on the run. He asks a cop for his gun, who gives him his gun and then takes that cop's motorcycle without a second thought, and no one stops him. And he heads back to the chemical HQ. There, the evil mortician McNabb meets Loudermilk, who it turns out is not dead as expected. He's entertaining wealthy guests and selling them on his version of immortality without them knowing that they'll have to keep paying him to keep them alive. Well, Roger storms the HQ and it turns into a nonstop shoot 'em up with corpses shooting corpses and people just walking at each other with full automatic guns blazing with no consequence. It's just incredible. This ends with McNabb resurrecting. It's Doug, who I literally, in that moment, the first time I watched it, went, when did Joe Piscopo die? I literally had this moment. No clue. McNabb's like, your friend doesn't remember you. He's been dead too long. But then Roger's just able to just talk to him for about a minute. And Joe Piscopo remembers what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
And stops being a mindless zombie, and they turn and they kill McNabb together like friends. With the bad guys resolved and the machine destroyed, they both walk into a bright white light, presumably only a few hours until their disintegration.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Dead Heat. Oh my God.
We watched some gems in this show. I tell you what.
So I'm going to tell you, though, Ann and I both multiple times looked over, and this movie was better than I expected in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
To the point where it was one of those things where I'm amazed I hadn't heard of it.
Me too.
But once again, every aspect of it was just better than you would expect.
It was fun. It was, I mean, we'll talk about it, but great effects. It was it didn't take itself too seriously. Joe Piscopo wasn't as bad as I thought he would be.
No. In fact, all of the dialogue and the writing, for the most part, was surprisingly good.
Yeah, the only thing
entire movie.
Bad dialogue was just like the women were very poorly written, but that's kind of like to be expected from a movie written by a man in the 80s, you know. But it'd be like the women were written pretty poorly, but the jokes weren't bad. The plot was mostly made sense, except for the giant plot hole that if Vincent Price's character was like, you know, in on it the whole time, then why did he leave a message behind in his mortuary? I didn't really understand that. Like, he was working with the mortician guy, so why was he trying to help whoever found his mortuary by leaving a message? It didn't make any sense to me. I don't understand that.
Yeah, so that was weird. But maybe it was like, if someone finds this clue, he sends them with the expectation that they would die.
That's possible. Yeah.
Because Key Luke did immediately try to murder them both.
Yes.
But I was with you. Vincent Price, what a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I thought he was just going to be on the TV, I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He did a quick cameo, but then he shows up at the end. I was like, oh my God, Vincent Price for real.
It's a very old Vincent Price, but he's still tall and creepy and weird.
This was like his fourth to last movie or something like that.
Wow.
He was right towards the end of his career.
But yeah,
but then Robert Picardo.
Robert
oh my
Picardo,
God.
the first part of the movie.
I'm going to agree with you. Yeah. I've never seen him with that much hair, though.
I know, very weird. Young Robert Picardo with like 3 lines, but he
I thought he was just born that way, Benjamin Button style.
Yeah, just like your child.
Got bad knees.
I got bad knees. Yeah. The killing people like just willy-nilly surprised me about this movie. That's very different. Like just having Doug just suddenly being dead. I'm like, holy shit, he's like a main character. Like, okay. And then they have this romance building between him and the mortician lady, and she's just dead suddenly off screen. We don't see her die.
That felt like a scene got cut. Like that's
Maybe.
what that specifically felt like.
Yeah. And even the blonde woman who's like, they're working with them, she's like buddying up with them and they have jokes, and suddenly she's just melting. That was an awesome scene, but I was just surprised how many times they didn't give a fuck and they just killed like so many main characters, like right out the bat, like didn't care.
Well, I think that like once it was established they could be resurrected, there were no consequences.
Or you don't know if they're going to be resurrected or not. So
it was
so
the
open.
magic bullet that they could use anytime they wanted.
Yeah.
But the other thing I think was way above my expectation, the visual effects.
Yeah.
Some of the makeup, prosthetic, and camera work was incredible. I'm not kidding when I say like her melting scene when Randy melted was incredible.
Creepy.
It was so well done.
Even for a 1988 movie and my modern sensibilities, that was gross and creepy looking. Like, the first part when her face first starts to melt, I didn't know how they did that in 88. I don't know how they did that.
Yeah, when that happened, Anna went, "Oh, that was really cool," and I was like, "Yeah, right." Like we had both had a moment of surprise at this movie,
and then also the whole we had to talk about the butcher shop scene. I'd never seen anything like that before. That was incredible.
Oh yeah. Now, mind you, not all the effects were mega successful, but it was so creepy.
Yeah,
to watch the ducks come to life and the chicken head come to life,
and this headless cow that's been gutted just walking out and just ambling out. Like, oh my God, like that was really well done.
So yeah, all the effects were kind of astounding for this movie. The only thing that they got wrong, or I caught the most, was they've got there were a lot of people just getting shot point blank and continuing to walk, and so they used probably a ton of squibs on this movie, which are the little blood packs that explode. And there were multiple times where like squibs would go off, and you could see them, You could see the inside stuff. And B, it would like blow a character's shirt apart. And then in the next shot, they were just fine. That happened to Joe Piscopo at the end. His squibs his shirt blew apart. And the next, he's just wearing a t-shirt with 3 holes in it. Like, you know.
The other thing that did not work for me, it took me out of things, it was kind of ridiculous, was when Brandy, what was her name?
Randy or Brandy? I don't know. One of the two. Randy.
When she melts and her head pops off and falls over, she starts talking from her decapitated head.
Yes, that was bad.
I was like, no, that's not stupid.
Good. But the effect was good.
Yeah,
though.
the effect was fine.
It looked so incredible.
It was just like, why is there's no voice box anymore? There's no lungs? What is happening here?
But even the like disfigured corpse at the beginning, the big biker guy with the crazy
that was creepy as fuck.
And it showed a lot of really smart choices in that they had this big goofy prosthetic where typically you'd be trying to hide seams and that would be what would give it away. But by putting a giant beard on him, it hid every seam of that mask. And I, even from a filmmaking perspective, I was like, someone made a really smart choice here.
And that was a big guy too. My goodness.
Oh yeah. So I think maybe like I don't think I made any notes about the music. I literally don't remember.
Oh, I actually did make a note about the music. It had the actual orchestral score. Once again, with the second movie in a row we reviewed, we were expecting a MIDI score or something crappy, but it had a good orchestral score. He'd worked on a few other movies in the 80s and stuff. And yeah, so that was impressive. All these guest appearances. Professor Toru Tanaka was the wrestler guy in the butcher shop, the big, huge guy. He's been in a lot of stuff you see in the 80s and 90s.
He was in Three Ninjas.
That's right.
Yeah.
Of course, Vincent Price. Also, we should mention Treat Williams, the star of the movie. He was really good. I always liked him in stuff. He's funny. Like, he has like lead character looks, but he's often like a character actor. He plays like a little.
Well, yeah, he's I literally just in a podcast heard him referred to as Discount Harrison Ford. And I'm like, that's pretty good. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I could see that. I always thought of Bill Pullman as Discount Harrison Ford, but kind of similar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so double discount then.
And then we have Darren McGavin, who played Body Doc, like the bad doctor. He's been in tons of stuff. Like, you've seen his face.
I mean, most of us know him as the father, old man from A Christmas Story.
That's right. With the lamp and everything. I forgot that was who he was. Yeah, but just other than that, I think it was not a bad movie.
No, and I agreed. The most surprising part in this was like Joe Piscopo kind of did a good job
playing that role. Yeah, and he's buff as hell.
And
in this
he wasn't
movie.
Overwritten.
Yeah, he
like
didn't
the writing
over the top.
reinforced this. Yeah, and they clearly wanted him to play his dirtier stuff, but they knew they couldn't get away with it through the rating. So there were some really good moments where he like started a joke and they never showed where it led, but you knew it was going to be dirty and terrible.
Or he played it kind of like goofy as opposed to taking it real seriously. So you didn't it wasn't as gross feeling when he said the gross lines. But yeah, for an 80s movie, it could have been a lot worse in that regard, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, this might be one of the weird movies I've never heard of that I would actually say is probably worth a watch.
It's fun. Yeah.
If you like good creature and VFX and costume and makeup kind of stuff, like this is there's some really good effects in here.
An 80s style action movie, tons of bullets flying everywhere, ridiculousness, then yeah, this is part of that too.
The fact that they were zombies and they could literally fire Uzis at each other point blank and just keep doing it was insane to watch.
It's like, why are you bothering with the Uzis? And why is no one shooting anyone in the head?
Well, no, it's just that it was just felt so unnatural because in every other movie, when someone gets shot with a machine gun, they fall or they have some spectacular death. So to watch these two guys just walking at each other with machine guns, it was so strange. My brain couldn't process it.
One of the better lines that Joe Piscopo has is they're trying to talk to the security guard when they walk into the science facility has a giant machine in it. And then they keep trying to get his attention. He's ignoring them because he's reading a porn magazine. And Joe Piscopo says,
"Oh yeah,
sorry to interrupt your erection, pal, but we're the police." I was like, I had to write that down. Sorry to interrupt your erection. But some trivia for this movie. Surprisingly, I wanted to have more, but there's a few things. Vincent Price filmed his scenes in 3 days. So he's not in a lot of the film, but he knocked that stuff out real fast.
Yeah, makes sense.
The building used for Dante Pharmaceuticals is also the set.
Biodome.
A Biodome.
I called it as we were watching it.
Yeah. Did you just notice that as you were watching it?
Anna can attest. I literally said, oh, that's where they did Biodome. Like as it came on.
Yes, only 8 years later, they used that same building for Biodome.
Wow.
So the screenwriter of this movie, Terry Black, his little brother is Shane Black, who's the famous director and scriptwriter, and he has a cameo in this movie as a police officer. I don't know which one or what scene it is.
I think he's the one who gives him his gun.
Oh, maybe that was him because it was his little brother at the time.
That's Shane Black. Yeah.
That would make sense. And if you don't know, he directed the Lethal Weapon movies, Monster Squad. Then later on, he did The Nice Guys. He did Predator. He was a writer, I think, on Predator. But he also
writer on Predator.
Wrote and directed Iron Man 3, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. So he's done a lot of great cop movies, a lot of good action movies, that kind of stuff. He's pretty big time writer-director. Also, later on, writer Terry Black was also approached by New World Pictures, who made this film, to write a sequel to Dead Heat. Black told New World executive that the sequel would be hard to do because all the main characters died at the end of the first film. Everyone died. Sorry, spoilers.
This is true.
The executive responded, "You've got a resurrection machine. You figure it out." But he's like, no. And they never made the sequel.
Tough but fair.
This is open for a sequel, guys. We can resurrect Vincent Price and bring him back into this movie.
Don't say it too loud. Someone in Hollywood will hear and get a money erection.
Sorry to interrupt your erection, pal. But I got a little game for you, Steve.
Ooh, I'm excited.
So in honor of Vincent Price being in this movie.
That is crazy to me.
I'm going to give you some Vincent Price quotes. And you have to tell me, is this a real Vincent Price quote from one of his weird movies, something weird he has said, or is it fake? Did I make it up?
Okay.
Or did AI make it up? I didn't make up the
If it's okay with you, can I pull up his IMDb list of movies? I don't need to, I'll avoid quotes and stuff, but just so I can see a list of them. Okay.
Because I think he's probably got like 100
Mind
films.
you, there's like 1,000 of them, so it's not going to be that helpful, but...
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. Do you remember the fun we had when you poisoned me? I can't do his voice.
I don't even think he could do his voice. I'm going to say yes. He was in a lot of morbid, weird stuff, and that feels like him.
That is correct. That is from 1959's The House on Haunted Hill. Okay.
Man.
Alas, why must I be plagued by yammering magpies on the eve of battle?
I'm going to say not him.
That is him.
I don't think he did a lot. What war movie was he on the eve of a battle?
It's called His Kind of Woman from 1951, an early one. Maybe it was a war movie.
Let's see. His Kind of Woman. Let's look at it. Ooh, it's black and white, just for the record.
He did a lot of black and white
Reported
movies.
gangsters' plan to re-enter the USA involves skullduggery at a Mexican resort, and gambler Dan Milner is caught in the middle. Wow.
That's complicated.
Man. The 50s were crazy.
All right, here's another one.
Okay.
We shall kill 2 birds with 1 pillow.
Not him.
That is him.
God damn it. That feels too morbid.
That is from The Comedy of Terrors from 1963.
Wow. Comedy of... I haven't seen most of these. Most of this is well before both of our times.
Here we go. Death is merely a change of address. I have moved many times.
Not him.
That is correct. That is not him. That is not
All right, good. Was that from a different movie?
That was not from anything. It's just a made-up quote.
Okay.
As Jonathan Frakes would say, we made it up. All right. Have patience, my friends. Surely after all these years, I'm entitled to a few small amusements.
I'm going to say yes. That sounds incredibly familiar.
It's from The Haunted Palace from 1963. Another movie I've not heard of.
Maybe I saw a clip of it or something.
But you were
It does
correct.
sound incredibly
real.
familiar.
My dear boy, a locked door is not an obstacle. It is merely an introduction.
Not him.
That's correct. Not him.
All right. Ooh.
It could have
I'm
been.
finally getting the cadence here.
Forgive them. If my hound bites my hand after I have fed and caressed him, should I allow him to go undisciplined?
I'm going to say that's him.
That is correct. It's from The Mask of the Red Death, which I think is the Poe redo from 1964.
Wow.
All right. A man who has never been poisoned has simply not been paying enough attention to his enemies.
I'm going to say yeah.
No, that is fake. But it very well
Damn
could
it.
have been more poison shit.
He was in so many movies in just a few years, it's kind of intimidating.
That's true. I'll not have my fill of revenge until this village is a graveyard. Until they have felt, as I did, the kiss of fire on their soft, bare flesh. All of them.
No, not
That
him.
is him. Also from
damn it.
The Haunted Palace. I want to watch this Haunted Palace movie. All right, one more.
All right. Are there any from the last 30 years?
Is it from the last 30 years, you said? Or you want one from the last 30
Are there
years?
any on the list from the last 30 years?
He hasn't been alive in the last 30 years.
What are you talking about?
He died
This
in
movie's
the-
from 88.
That's 40 years ago, almost.
Okay, 40 years then.
Okay, that's better. That's closer.
Let's call it 45 among friends. He died in 93, thank you.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Yeah, man.
This place is dangerous. The time right deadly. The drinks are on me, my bucko.
I'm going to say yes.
Yes, that is from His Kind of Woman from 1951.
Man.
All right, a
His
final
Kind-
tally. 1, 2, 3,
Oh, I think I
4,
got
5,
3,
6,
maybe.
7, 8.
Really? There's no way.
You got 10 correct and 1 wrong at 11 by accident. So you got 10 out of 11 correct.
There's no. I did not only miss one. That is just so not correct.
No, you got all the ones that you said that were fake, and the ones you said were real. Except for one that you thought was real and it was fake.
That feels not correct.
You were
but
making me
okay.
angry because you're getting all of them right.
I feel like I got 2 or 3 in a row wrong, making this mathematically impossible.
No,
but
you
okay.
didn't. You got them all right.
Well, in that case, this is the best anyone's done on the show ever.
Congratulations, Steve.
I guess. I don't feel like a winner on this one.
That was the Price is Wrong game. There we go.
That's right.
But that brings us to some radical recommends.
I recommend.
If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up.
What do you recommend I do?
I recommend Pleasant.
All right. This is a radical recommend I had for Jarman last week, not recorded. We didn't record this radical recommend.
Oh, I
so I'm
forgot
gonna
about
get it
that. It wasn't recorded.
on the mic now. And so that is my favorite new thing and maybe the best fad I've ever found on the internet that wasn't awful. And it is dense bean salads.
Oh, yeah.
My God, guys. Summer's coming, hot months where you're not going to want to turn on the oven or stove. Dense bean salad is where it's at. It's mega healthy, crazy high protein, good fiber, lots of variety. And essentially there's an easy equation of like a pound of some meat. We've done chicken and beef, 2 types of bean, 1 hearty, 1 silky. So like a hearty bean would be like a chickpea or edamame, and silky is like white beans. Some sort of fresh herb, and then a dressing of some sort. So we did a Asian inspired one that was beef and edamame. And then after that, we did a chicken one that was chicken and Tex-Mex style. So chicken and black beans and corn. Each one lasts us 3 days. And tonight we made one that is like Mediterranean. So we got olives in there and some feta. And it is our favorite meal prep thing, and I said it is crazy healthy, and it's the best internet fad that has turned out to be the hype it's worth.
And looking into it, depending on what's in it, you can have some of them either hot or cold, depending like what kind of is in it. But
we really dig that I dig that it's cold.
It's fast that way for sure.
We have a bowl in the fridge and we pull it out. Anna's been making rice with it each night, so we have rice and then 2 or 3 good scoops of this stuff, and it is incredible. I can't recommend it enough.
Hell yeah, I gotta try
for
it.
Meal prep and for like healthy meal prep. I've not found a better option than this.
Makes things easier, makes things healthier.
That's right. So, dense bean salad. Look it up. There are 1,000 recipes online. We've tried 3 of them, and all 3 have been pretty crazy so far.
Get your farts on. Just saying.
Get your farts on. That's a joke.
Speaking of farts,
I'm always gassy.
That brings us to some trailer reviews. All right. The maturity factor has gone up, so we're going to talk about a movie. I thought it was going to be a TV show or miniseries, but apparently it's going to be a movie.
I don't know how they can stretch this into a movie, but I guess.
I guess if it's a series, it would have been even longer, in theory, because it'd be several hours. But the movie is Clayface from the DC studios under the tutelage of, what's his face? Forgetting his name.
Gunn?
Yeah, James Gunn. But yeah, the teaser has come out. I've been talking about it for a while, and some set photos had leaked and stuff, but it's kind of a much darker take than a lot of his other shows and movies have been. He's not directing this one, but he's producing it under the DC Studios banner, so it will be under the same universe. It's going to be the Clayface that would is a standard Batman villain, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not wrong about that. But
yeah, he's a Batman villain.
Yeah, and I think they're playing it. I don't know if it's the same as the comics. I'm not a comic reader, but it looks like a guy who knows he's very good looking and is known for his looks gets, at least in the teaser, gets abducted and disfigured in his face and injected with some strange stuff, which apparently will lead to him having the Clayface abilities, which he can kind of meld into any kind of shape and objects and change his face around and all that kind of stuff. But it looks very dark, kind of body horror kind of stuff going on. Steve, what do you think of this trailer?
I mean, I'm not particularly interested in this movie, but what I think is interesting is Gunn's new approach to like the DC universe, where he's going to build all these really compelling villains and then give us villains to care about.
Right.
And villains we can see maybe a few times more than just one movie. Which is why, in the DC and the Marvel universe, you have Loki, who's like a much beloved character because he is not a villain that we threw away
right
in one movie. So I think this is a very interesting approach, and it makes me kind of optimistic for DCU for the first time in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I've been optimistic since Gunn took over, and it's been going pretty well. But we don't have Supergirl yet. We only have one film so far come out in the actual official universe, and it had a lot going on in that first movie in Superman. Like there's so many characters, so it's kind of like, oh, where's this gonna go? But
and here's the thing, we're never going to be fully, and do we know, is like Robert Pattinson's Batman in this or no? Like
no, he's not in the official DC universe.
It's a separate thing.
Yeah, it was so weird. I wish they had never done that. And there's the Joker movie sitting out there too, like both those Joker movies, but they're not in the universe either.
Weird. And the second one was supposedly real bad.
Oh yeah,
real bad.
It's critically panned.
So I don't know, and I this makes me optimistic. I like that he's doing something that like Marvel hasn't really done. If anything, it feels nice that DC is at least trying something new.
Yeah, a movie that's just based off of the villain's origins, right. It humanizes them and makes it like you're interested in their character, like you were saying. So I think that has the potential to be a good thing. It's an unknown actor to me. I've never seen him before playing the main guy.
Yeah, no, I have no idea who that is. Which, mind you, may work in our favor, may work in his favor.
Just like with Superman, I had no idea who he was before Superman. Never seen him before.
Yeah, I think I'd seen him in one thing, maybe one TV show. Yeah.
Seems like a good guy.
So I'm going to give this one, Raul sitting in his favorite chair at home, reading his paper, and Gary runs in. It's like, Raul, look, Raul, look, I'm Clayface. And Raul tips down his paper, and Gary Busey just opens a tub of Play-Doh and proceeds to just eat just by the fistful Play-Doh. And just when he finishes it, and Raul thinks he's done, now he pulls out another thing of Play-Doh from his back pocket.
Wow.
Just keeps eating it, and Raul just puts his paper up. He's like, "You're going to get sick again, Gary."
Like every night. So I'm going to give this Raul Julia coming home from work after a long day, and he can't find Gary, so he runs, kind of goes around the house getting worried, and he finds him in the bathtub, and he's just laying there, and his face looks like it's melting off of his entire body, and he's like, "Gary, what's wrong, Gary?" And he's like, "What? Oh, wow!" And his face goes right back to where it was. He just didn't realize that Gary's face is always just in a state of like overstressedness, that when he finally relaxes, it just all melts down and just sits there resting on his collarbone. But he's just always so high strung all the time that his face
just melty face.
Yeah, he usually would have a melty face, but you wouldn't know it because he's so high strung. Very complicated review for that film.
Yeah, I think it's as complicated as it needed to be.
Oh boy.
Well, thanks for joining us on this week's episode where we watched a movie that wasn't too bad for once.
Yeah.
Join us next week. The much anticipated summer blockbuster coming out, Masters of the Universe, a new He-Man tale. And to honor it, we're going to review a smudge on the He-Man name, the original Masters of the Universe. They didn't even bother to change the title.
Nope.
The Dolph Lundgren, I'm not going to say classic, the Dolph Lundgren movie that loosely adapted Masters of the Universe, except for the toy makers didn't want there to be any violence on camera, so he had a giant sword but couldn't use it. We're going to learn all about that next time and more. Come back for that and be our nerdy audience. We will come on back and be your nerdy co-hosts. Thanks again, Internet.
Stay nerdy, my friends.
Thanks for listening to A Play on Nerds. Feel free to email feedback at aplayonnerds.com with all your questions or comments.
Shoot us a message on Facebook or Twitter and earn yourself a sweet shout out on the show.
Review us on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts so even more nerds can find us. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, we aren't picky.
Check out our entire back catalog and other offerings at aplayonnerds.com.
And how?